Pseudo-Philo's Biblical Antiquities is a history of Israel from Adam to David.
Pseudo-Philo exists in 18 complete and 3 fragmentary Latin manuscripts, all apparently of German and Austrian descent. The oldest are dated to the 11th century, and the most recent are from the 15th century. It was originally written in the Hebrew language.
Attempts to date the composition of the original Hebrew version have focused on Pseudo-Philo, chapter 19, verse 7, which mentions the place where they will serve me 740 years as having been destroyed on the same day as that which Moses broke the tablets of law, the 17th of Tammuz. This has been understood as a reference to Titus's capture of Jerusalem in 70 AD, but could also suggest a date later than 70 AD, and the latest possible date is around 100 AD. If the Pseudo-Philo had really been composed by Philo the Jew, Alexandria would be its obvious place of origin.
Many factors point to Palestine as a place in which the Pseudo-Philo originated. Pseudo-Philo seems to reflect the milieu of Palestinian synagogues at the turn of the Common Era. The work also transmits legends and motifs not found elsewhere. There are some interesting plays on Old Testament cliches from what would now be described as a feminist perspective. There also seems to be a deliberate attempt to relocate certain biblical events. It is theologically important because God is light and life.
The focus of Pseudo-Philo's eschatological interest is the future state, for example, what happens after death and what happens during and after God's eschatological visitation. There are 2 ages, the present and the world to come. 2 books in the Bible, Genesis 1 and 2 Samuel, are very important for the Pseudo-Philo. They are also occasional references to Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Psalms in Pseudo-Philo. The 2 biblical texts and their interpretations are interweaved in this book, and Pseudo-Philo may have taken its former model from the Book of Chronicles.
Pseudo-Philo's impact on both Jewish and Christian history has been in sight. The earliest Christian references come to it from the medieval writers, and several proper names near the end of John Donne's Metempsychosis indicate that English divine knew it too.
Lastly, the Pseudo-Philo has been translated in English by M.R. James in 1917.
Chapter 2, The Story of Cain.
But Cain dwelt in the earth trembling, according as God appointed unto him after he slew Abel his brother. And the name of his wife was Themech.
And Cain knew Themech his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch.
Now Cain was 15 years old when he did these things, and from that time he began to build cities until he had founded 7 cities. And these are the names of the cities. The name of the first city, according to the name of his son Enoch. The name of the second city, Molly. And of the third, Leith. And the name of the fourth, Tez. And the name of the fifth, Iesca. The name of the sixth, Seleth. And the name of the seventh, Eabath.
Chapter 3, The Story of Noah and the Ark.
You just stopped it.
No, it's coming. I promise.
You said last time.
Okay, let's go.
Unto whom God said, The time of all men that dwell upon the earth is come, for their deeds are very evil. And now make thee an ark of cedar wood. And thus shalt thou make it. 300 cubits shall be the length thereof, and 50 cubits the breadth, and 30 cubits the height.
Now of clean beasts and of the fowls of the heaven that are clean thou shalt take by 7s, male and female, that their seed may be saved alive upon the earth. But of unclean beasts and fowls thou shalt take thee by 2s, male and female, and shalt take provision for thee and for them also.
And Noah did that which God commanded him, and entered into the ark, he and all his sons with him. And it came to pass after 7 days that the water of the flood began upon the earth. And in that day the depths were opened, and the great spring of water, and the windows of heaven, and there was rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
And when the flood continued 140 days upon the earth, Noah and only they who were with him in the ark remained alive. And when God remembered Noah, he made the water to diminish. And it came to pass on the 90th day that God dried the earth, and said unto Noah, Go out of the ark, thou and all thou are with thee, and grow and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went out of the ark, and his sons and his sons' wives, and all of the beasts, creeping things, and fowl and cattle brought forth with him as God commanded him. They built Noah an altar unto the Lord, and took all of the cattle and all of the clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And it was accepted of the Lord for a savor of rest.